Hey guys, this is Ed, Paul, and Anna of Current Brand Media, and we are here to tell you a little bit more about our sponsor.
Sportsball is a great subscription service geared towards minor league baseball fans. Each box features a different minor league team.
You get a box every 3 months with minor league baseball gear, including different styles of hats like Ed's favorite, the dad hat. The cost is less than $12 a month.
Proceeds from each box goes to More Than Baseball, the only nonprofit dedicated to the well-being of minor league baseball players.
We all know that Parents' Days are coming up this summer, so if you've got a mom or a dad or a grandma or a grandpa who are particularly difficult to buy for, but you know they're baseball fans, this is the answer, guys.
Meet your new favorite team at sportsballbox.com.
Is there anybody there?
What up, Deadhead crew? This is Ed, and welcome to part 2 of the MLB Raleigh interview with Lou. This is the part where we talk about the process of creating different logos and brands to have some fun with what it's like to bring a Major League Baseball team again to the city of Raleigh, specifically Raleigh-Durham. We also discuss our famous not so famous questions and a little surprise in the middle of the interview. So without further ado, guys, I'll give you the interview. Speaking of community, right? Because the other part of this is the 919 Collective. That's your site, right?
So basically what we did with MLB Raleigh was to, and I'll get into this pretty quick, but I'll just say,
go ahead. Take your time.
Okay. Yeah. So the one thing that we talked about with this was also creating a brand for Raleigh. And a brand on the street, not like the brand the government has, but a brand on the street. So if you go to Durham, everyone wears the Durham Bulls hats. You go to New York, everyone wears a Yankees hat. You go to LA, everyone wears a Dodgers hat. Baseball has a unique ability to brand a city on the streets because, as you know, the hats. Okay.
I do.
Yes. The major, the baseball hat or the baseball cap is it's just kind of a casual piece of attire that people wear to bars, to out anywhere. It's, you can't wear a football helmet out. You can't wear a hockey jersey out everywhere all the time without,
especially not during the summer.
Right. The hat is kind of the most versatile piece that everyone's wearing.
Correct.
And it, ends up kind of branding the city on the street. So how would Raleigh ever get that without a baseball team of any sort? And so we said, this is a good opportunity to try to introduce something like that. So we worked for a long time on the brand for this. Obviously, you can see we chose initially the colors black and white because we didn't want to choose a color. We didn't want to choose a team name. That's not for us to decide. This is for the community to discuss. Obviously, whoever buys the team will make that decision.
Yeah.
But this was a good chance for the community to kind of come together, bring designers together, and kind of parse out what is the brand here, what makes us unique. So that was another piece of this project.
Gotcha. And I'm looking at the names that you've put together for, I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun with this. My personal favorite right now, and I'll say it, is the Oak City Owls.
Okay.
I love that one.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, how did you guys? I mean, I know you guys, want them, the owner who comes in and decide, okay, these are names, let's have a name in the team contest and all that stuff. But you guys have some cool logos, some cool names here that they could potentially, you guys come to talk to you guys about. How did you guys, come about in deciding all of this?
Yeah, so when we started, we had a couple events. So the first event was at Trophy Brewing. We met with those guys before we even launched. We had a friend that was friends with the owners over there, and we brought the site over. The site was built, and we were like, hey, we had this idea. We're gonna put this out there. Here's how we want it to work. People might not even care about it, but we want to throw a little party at Trophy. And Trophy, those guys are awesome. They were all in. They loved it. They were like, we want to even make a beer for it. So they brewed Play Ball Pilsner. They created a beer that they sold locally for a while. And so that was our first event, and it was at capacity. I mean, we had just came out with the hats and the shirts and the 919 plate and all of that.
Yep.
And we sold out online, and then we got our restock, and we decided we're going to sell the rest of it at this trophy event. We sold out in like a couple hours. The line was out the door, wrapped around the building. And we were like, we couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. Like, we just thought maybe 100, 200 people come and hang out and talk baseball. We didn't even really get to talk to anybody. We were selling hats and shirts the whole time. So, but it was fun. And so after that, we had other people reaching out to do events at different venues. And the one we really wanted to do was one about the team name, some ideas around team names. So basically what we did is we partnered with Little City Brewing to kind of do what kind of was like a little art gallery show at a brewery. And we got what we thought were, I think we ended up with, how many did we get? 3, 6, 9, 10, like 12 different designers, 12 designers that we thought had been doing the best work locally. And we said, come up with a brand, have an idea, what's the idea behind it? It has to have a local tie, has to have a local type name, and a logo that we're going to print on a hat. And so they came up with, most of these are theirs. I did one, Ryan did one.
Which one was yours?
Mine was the Raleigh Revenge. It was like Sir Walter Raleigh.
Yeah.
Walter Raleigh was beheaded.
Yeah.
So the story is that he was beheaded because he lied or whatever. And he said he didn't lie. Anyway, there's a little like conspiracy controversy around.
I like
Sir
it.
Walter
I like
Raleigh.
a good controversy.
So we brought him back as an angry baseball zombie.
Which is cool.
And that's just silly, right? That would never be a team. That was just for fun. Ryan did the what was his called? His was the axe.
The North State Pine Brigade. Yeah,
Brigade,
that's a nice one. I'm not gonna lie, I like that one. That was my second one.
That was great too. So it was really fun. And so if you go to the site, if you go to teams, you can see all of those and pictures from that event. But it was cool. A lot of people would come in and be like, oh, this is too minor league. A lot of these are too, but that was the idea. It was just to create conversation about the brand of the city. And some people did really good work, and had, for instance, like the Raleigh Capitals, Raleigh Oaks, those are a little bit more major league. Especially the Capitals.
Yeah, you got the Capitals. You got some cool ones though. Like, I mean, that's, the English one, Raleigh Oaks, I really do like, all of them are awesome. I just did an interview a couple of weeks ago. Actually, no, this week. My friend Anna, who's again a podcaster, she is a fan of the Carolina Captains. She says she wants to put her vote on that one. So
okay. I mean, yeah, that was another one that was like major league ready. Yeah. And you said you like the Owls.
Yep.
That was Britt Davis. She went to NC State, but she was at the time a designer for the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
so I see the red and black.
So these people these are legit designers that came up with this stuff. So.
Some cool stuff. I mean, you guys have thought about like, everything, because. So I'm going to stop the interview here with Lou, and I'm going to give you guys another interview I did with Britton Peck. He's actually one of the designers that designed the rally cues for this event. We go into a little bit of detail on the whole process of designing one of these logos and brands for what a Major League Baseball team here in Raleigh, North Carolina would look like. So here it is. One of the designers for MLB Raleigh that did one of the logos for the team event, Mr. Britton Peck. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, man.
So let's get down to it. So MLB Raleigh, right? 919. They did this event. Reached out to local artists. You are in the Durham area, correct?
Yep.
And then they said, hey man, free range, go for it. Whatever your juices, get you to, we want you to design, the whole logo for what would your look would be for an MLB franchise here in the Raleigh Durham area. How, what, first of all, what was that whole transition for you? Like, what was your thinking behind picking, what it is, the Raleigh Qs?
Yeah, so a couple caveats on the design. So, and this isn't a problem to get this type of aspect to a design project, but when you get a total blank slate, sometimes it's a little scary. You don't know where to start or what to do. But on this one, apparently, what I don't know the exact story. Lou could probably remember it better than me, but they had like. I think the hat color was already determined. And so, and I can't remember exactly what happened in the process, but so when Lou contacted me, he's like, hey, I'd love for you to do this. And I was really excited. I love hats. I love sports branding. So he's like, yeah, but if you're cool with it, you got to work with this like mustard colored hat. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, restrictions and kind of like parameters are like, that's just part of commercial design work. You're always going to have a client's interest or whatever. And it actually, I find, helps, it gives you something to kind of work off of. So, the barbecue kind of like pig, not necessarily pig, we could have left pigs out, but it'd still be about barbecue, maybe like, something else. But so that was already sort of there, the color of the hat. And then he was like, yeah, we'd really like to represent barbecue in the whole show, so if you could kind of like take the barbecue, mantle and carry it, that'd be great. And so, yeah, I was excited to be invited. And so pretty much starting from that point is where I kind of like, that's where I try to like, when it was from there, it was a pretty much open-ended, right, whatever I wanted. So for me, the thing that I thought of was I wanted to kind of subvert the barbecue dynamic a little bit. So instead of the pig being the thing that you eat, and the thing that like is this, poor animal, I was like, well, I'm gonna make like a really fierce pig, So as a kid, I really loved the movie Animal Farm, George Orwell, and I love the book. And then in class, when we got to watch the movie, I thought it was like the coolest movie ever. These like singing farm animals, and they're socialist, and they're proud, and they take over their farm. I was really pulling for them. So the biggest, baddest pig in that movie is Napoleon, and he's like he's sort of I think he's a metaphor for Stalin. So not a very good dude, but definitely
right.
You don't want to mess with him.
Right.
So I was like, all right, there we go. He'll be the perfect pig for the Raleigh Qs. And so then the name, like the Raleigh Q name, is sort of like, some people, most people, not many people, say, I don't really hear people say like, hey, let's go eat some Q. It's not like people call barbecue Q,
right?
But with the name Raleigh kind of sounding like barbecue,
right? It really just flows really nicely together when you say, instead of just barbecue, Raleigh Q. I'm like, oh, this is a great play on the whole barbecue name. That was brilliant.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and so for that one, what I thought would be cool was like, for a hat, you could do like a lot of times they have like a single letter. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, we could do an R, but it'd be cool if it was just like a Q. So I think these made it into, I think Lou printed these he had these on the wall during the show, but I did some typography that was all made to look like it was painted with barbecue sauce. So color wise, with this like mustard yellow, I wanted the type to be in all black. And then what I did with black was if you give it red highlights, it starts to kind of imply that it's not actually black. It's actually like a dark burgundy molasses.
Yeah, it really does bring out, because I'm literally looking at the website right now, and I'm looking at that, and it's like it's black,
Yeah.
but like, you know, when you say you put that color in, you're like, wow, it's like it comes off a totally different one.
Yeah. No, I love playing just as an illustrator. I love playing with light and color and stuff like that. So that's kind of the type of stuff that gets really fun for me. So yeah, no, those two things were really what it came down to, was this fierce pig, and who, you know, would make you think twice about eating him.
Right, right. They're like, oh, he's gonna eat you, just so you know. It's not,
Yeah,
not you eat him, you eat you.
yeah. And then I really liked the sauce, you know. So the hat, design wise, I was kind of thinking, well, what am I going to put on the hat? And Lou kind of recommended doing both, you know, so putting Napoleon on top of the R. And so with an R, it's not that different shape wise from a Q if you just add the tall thing on the left side. I don't know
Yep.
what the name of that is, but so it's basically kind of a circle with a little tail on the bottom right. And so an R and a Q are rather similar when you kind of make them big and chunky, you know.
I see that. What I love about this logo and this whole brand is the pig itself, right? Because it really does look very menacing, right? And it's like, you know, he has one of the horns, you know, the tooth, you know, coming out, sticking out. And what I think is the best part about it is the bow tie.
Yeah.
The bow tie on it just like screams like, this is amazing. I'm like, I'm gonna be the meanest, baddest dude, but I'm gonna do it in style. And that's what I'm looking at it right now. That's what I automatically went to when I saw this logo.
Yeah. I also, I think I gave him like a little hat with an R too. Yeah, so that kind of was coming from that, and the bow tie came from like kind of mid-century, you know, 1950s America, when fast food and like, you know, like burger stands and that kind of thing were really getting to be a big business with, you know, McDonald's and all that. But then like if you go to like King's Barbecue down in Eastern North Carolina, like I love that, like a lot of these older fast food places had this kind of formality to them, where like really sharp, crisp uniforms with like, you know, like maybe like red pinstripes. And so I just think there's like this really cool like design aesthetic to kind of mid 1900s American fast food. So yeah, I figure, you know, he's kind of intended to look like he's a worker at a barbecue restaurant. Like he's got his little white hat and a bow tie, so he's ready to serve you some
so real, yeah, absolutely. And I love the other, because like, I mean, there's different, like there's there's like four different hats that you design, right? One of them being an orange color, or red would be like, you know, and then with the Q on it. But then there's the black one who has the whole pig. And then it has stitching all around the pig. Now, was that meant to be like a baseball stitching, or, you know, what was the reasoning behind putting the stitching, like different cuts of the pig itself?
Yeah, you nailed it. Those two things combined. And it's funny because like I remember why I was searching the other night for something I'm like always looking up design ideas and that. And I came across there's a team that's like actually got that, like a really similar logo now.
Yep.
And
the Chicharrones of Colombia. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, so this is something that I have kind of just, I mean, I've been, I like illustrating pretty much exclusively for the past few years. And before that, I worked in design and as a graphic designer. And the one thing I've learned in that is like similar ideas can like absolutely do come up at the same time. And like I've had some interesting conversations with people where like either they thought I took an idea, or I thought they took an idea or something, and I'm like, hey, you got my idea, and they're like, seriously, man, I had no clue that you even did that. So that one, yeah, I had not seen the chicharrones, but before I did it, but yeah, no, the two ideas you mentioned, baseball seams and cuts of a pig, was the idea. And And I really kind of like that one because I really like, left to my own, devices. I kind of like old school looking logos. I think they look, I don't know, I just really like kind of the minimal look of them. That one I thought could look really good. And I like things when you can get them all the way down to one color.
Yeah.
So if you had like the body of the pig and then the seams were just like left in negative space, the color of the hat could come through and kind of define the seams. So I thought that one would actually work really well as like, maybe like red on a black hat or even black on a red hat or white on a red hat.
Either way, it looks amazing. Yeah. Like it's one of my favorite ones just because is, like I said, it's like, you really catch, the essence of barbecue, and then you twisted it, right? Like you said, like, instead of, the pig being the actual food itself, like, he's going to be serving you, as the barbecue, which is amazing. And what you did with the collars and all that, you made it very old school, right? Very old school baseball with the uniforms and all that. Like, first of all, like you did the one with the pullover one with just the head of the pig as the logo on the shirt. That's very cool. Like I automatically thought of like, the Padres when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is, and the rounded letters in the back. So, oh man, I was like, I'm geeking out all this because it's like cool stuff, baseball stuff for me. So
yeah, no, that's the stuff I really love. Like, just all the different eras of baseball and different design ideas that have come into it. Working on a project like that, I really like to work really broadly and kind of take all these things that excite me and try to pull them into a project. And with that project with Lou was just sort of like, he was just wanted the more the better, he wanted to just showcase a lot of ideas and get people really excited. But with a client who's actually going to kind of put something into production or put something on a field, they that's giving them a lot to work with. They'll tend to kind of narrow it down to and it's different choices. Different ideas will inform choices, but in my work I always like to try to like think really broadly and then take all these different things from different aspects of my life. Like, I'm always remembering conversations I had with my dad from like 25 years ago or something. And that'll like kick up some idea, or like, the way that I grew up going to minor league games in Greensboro, and just a lot of fun memories. And I try to put all that into, why choose one color or something like that. So yeah, I really, you talk about geeking out on this stuff.
Right. This was meant to be for a major league team, but I could seriously see a minor league team here in North Carolina really grabbing this and use it as an alternate look for their team, because I think this is great, and it's like it really does, look like it's a very hyper local, very speaking of, what a lot of, people think of when they say North Carolina, they say, oh, barbecue. Absolutely. And I think if a minor league team comes to you, man, I would be the first one to buy a dad hat. Believe me.
Oh yeah, man. That would be exciting. But it's cool you bring that up with like the difference of minor and major league, because I did have that conversation with Lou too. Like, he really he wanted to run with the pig one for the show. And one thing I remember I brought up with him was like, well, I feel like the pig feels more like minor league. Where like the one with like the simplified like pig with the cuts and the seams feels more like a major league look, where it's a little bit more kind of old school. They keep it a little bit more traditional with major league looks. So no, I like both, I love, like, obviously disco turkeys and the Savannah bananas. Like, there's some really fun stuff happening, like not in the major leagues with aesthetics and teams and that. So it's fun to, kind of, but I try to be aware of like what feels like appropriate, but no, it would be a really fun brand to just kind of, take further with,
and you're right. Like, and I think the major leagues is I don't think I could put this in any better way, but it's like it's a very boring, like very structured look for Major League. But when you see things like, in the minors, and this is why I love, really working within the minor league world, because the logos are so much fun. They have so many alternate, looks that is very fun. And then, as a hat collector, like I am, like, I gravitate towards those things because it's like, it gives you a look into the identity of that local town. And when they do things like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely.
One final question here, how was that whole experience for you? The whole process, Lou reaching out to you and doing, asking you to do things and then just giving you certain parameters and then, having free range. How was that experience for you?
Man, it's a lot of fun. That project with Lou, it was not like a paying, commercial project. It was totally just for fun. And Lou's obviously really upfront about that. And Lou's just got a lot of energy, and he's just it was fun to work with him on that. And it's just, to do that. And then the event was really well done. Different people will try kind of similar stuff like that, but Lou's energy and his appreciation, I knew a lot of the other designers, and knowing that Lou probably had similar kind of sharing this vision and passion with other people, you could just see it all. I could tell a lot of my friends that were in the show too did a lot of great work that I could tell they had a lot of fun doing. And so that the event, leading up, all the stuff leading up to it, definitely for me was really well done. And then the event itself was a lot of fun. I actually went with a buddy of mine who's one of my best friends from growing up, and it was just a fun night. They had just to get, it was a total success. His whole mission was to get people excited about the possibility of what a team that represented Raleigh could look like. And it was just such a fun night. Seeing a lot of people, they had some photo opportunity things where you could, I think they had one where you pose as a catcher or a batter and get your picture taken. And so people were just having fun, and he really did a great job of just using the designs to build a lot of energy.
I love it. I think it's great. Britton, thank you so much for doing this. This has been a lot of fun. Where can people find you on all the socials?
Yeah, it's just my name. I got a funny spelling to my name, but it's Britton like the country, but with 2 T's.
Yep.
So yeah, Britton Peck, like Gregory Peck. We're not related though. Britton Peck, and I
will make sure to put all this information on the show notes so that way everybody can follow you. They need to follow you because you do a lot of great work. I follow you on Instagram and on Twitter. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. Now that we're done with Britton, let's go ahead and finish Lou's interview so that way you guys can get the rest of the story. Enjoy. And then something that we haven't touched on is the potential stadium locations as well. So you guys did your research on that as well. I mean, you guys are not messing around.
So that was, in the early stages, we as we were mapping out the site, we were mapping out what questions people would have and what conversations we wanted to kind of inject into the community. And I'm on this I go on this forum all the time called dtraleigh.com. And it's a civic forum. It talks about development, traffic patterns, transportation, pretty interesting stuff. But there was a guy on there named Will Gadd who kept bringing up baseball and was mocking up stadiums in the area and talking about where they could be. And I reached out to him because he didn't know we were working on this. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, let me talk to you. It turns out he went to NC State as well, as me and Ryan also went to NC State. And showed him what we were doing and said, hey, do you want to be a part of this? Because we'd love to use your stadium locations. And he had the egress and the traffic and the transportation stuff all mapped out.
Crazy.
He did a lot of good work. So yeah, it ended up being me, Ryan, and Will kind of working through all of this. at least at the get-go, before we kind of opened it up to the community. Then a lot of people came in.
And I think that's the important part, right? The important part is that this is not some big corporate company coming in, and putting some money behind somebody. And then it's like, okay, listen, I need you to push this for us. I need you to do this for us. This is actually started by actual citizens of the area that all are on one voice saying, we want something here. We want a major league team here. And
Yeah,
I think that's important.
That was the goal, right? Because we didn't have money to buy a team or to start an investor group. So the idea really was really to start it from the ground up, because it was something authentic. It would be it's a different pitch, and that's what made it unique. And we thought that's what would make people take note, right? I don't think anything really like this has been done before. Portland has something sort of similar, but there's an investor group involved with it. There's nothing just straight community based. And so, that was kind of the idea, was to make it super authentic, but let it bubble up from the ground. And there's nothing fake about it. This is the community telling Major League Baseball that we want you here. What other city can say that? Are there other cities that have full on community movements that are doing this, or are they funded by somebody who's about to make a profit off of it?
No, you're absolutely right. And that's the biggest thing, right? Because I'm very eerie, a lot of the times when you see it, all of a sudden it pops up and it's like, oh, this group all of a sudden is interested in bringing it to me. It's like, all right, well, let's really take a good look at, who's behind the push, right? And you've heard the names of the cities for a long time. You've heard Portland, you've heard Nashville, you've heard Vegas. That's money right there. That's just money telling you guys, hey, this is what they want.
Yes.
And I've never really experienced or seen anything like how you guys are doing as a community. And I love that. I think that's great.
I appreciate that.
It's something to get behind, now that I'm, I'm here in Raleigh. So this is, this is my town now.
Yeah. So the other part of it too is, as we started to come up, we started to put together the kind of the merch, really, like the shirts, the hats, the pennants that we were putting around different businesses. And when we started to put it together, we were like, hey, I think this is going to sell, so the part of it is exactly what you said, is we don't want this to look like a money grab, right? Mm-hmm. The whole point of it is to be the opposite of what you see everywhere, where everything's all about the money. Who's got the most money? That's who gets whatever they want.
Correct.
Well, let's try to do it different. Like, can the community do this? And if we can't be on the back end collecting money, because people are just being like, oh, this is about selling shirts. Oh, this is about selling hats. And it's not.
Right.
And we put a ton of time into this. I mean, geez, like our wives, girlfriends, they had to put up with nights and nights of us just like talking and building these websites and printing these shirts and doing all this. So it, taking a couple bucks off of this stuff would have been nice, but it would have undercut the movement. So we decided to say, hey, look, what if we took nothing? What if we did all of this? We put I think like $1,000 each in to like get everything
to get going. Yeah.
And we took that 1,000 out. Okay. So to be fully transparent, we took the money that we put in back out, but then it makes sense. Yeah. We have not taken another dime. Okay. So everything else that we make, we give to different causes. So the first cause that we approached before we set this up was the Boys Club, they're in East Raleigh, and they have kind of had a dilapidated baseball field. And they had a guy, Rashad Herndon, who's an awesome guy. He's running the whole program on this beat down field. And we met with him and be like, we might get you like $20, or we might be able to fix up this entire field. I mean, we'll see. And so they were like, we're in, and these things started selling like crazy. And at the end of the day, we were able to fix up that whole field.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Big help from Brian at Rebuild, big help from West Raleigh. People stepped in, kind of give us discounts on a lot of the work, obviously. But a true community movement. And since then, all of the money goes to different causes, whether it's feeding people, whether it's just helping out all types of causes around the city.
Well, I myself bought one myself. I bought the Raleigh Grays hat, right? And
Okay.
then I was telling my wife about it, and I was like, listen, this is actually going towards, a scholarship for historically Black college.
Those are going to HBCU. Yeah.
Listen, that's amazing. That's cool. And then, if I'm going to spend $28, which is usually, obviously you see my wall,
Yeah.
right? It feels good that when I wear it, that I am helping, a young student, go to college, and that feels good.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the other part of this is definitely, people want, if you live in this area, you realize like there's so many good people here and people are just looking for ways to help out. And, sure, you can send out emails and ask people to give to certain things, but, that we talked about, what about a business that, gives a chunk of money, and in this case, all of it. So you buy something, basically you're making a donation and you're getting something cool.
Yeah.
Seems like a no-brainer. And so you talked about 919 Collective, and that's kind of the spin-off of MLB Raleigh, because we're staying with the MLB Raleigh. All of that stuff is still going on.
Which is,
had people reaching out, like, can you do this for non-baseball stuff? And at the time we were like, no, we're so full with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were like, yeah, maybe we could, so 919 Collective, if you go over to that site, we have stuff that's just not just baseball. We do kind of the same thing. There, a small cut of that goes back to the designers and goes to the business to keep the business running. That's what we found out. You have to have money to keep a business running.
Yeah.
But it barely makes anything, but it keeps it going. And then we still give a large chunk of that money to these different causes. So
that's awesome. I love it. I'm actually on their 919 Collective. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably buying a couple of shirts here. I'm a fan of the Durham All-Stars, the Raleigh Tigers, right? So you got some cool stuff. You got stickers. I'm a huge fan of stickers. I'm not, you got the Skelly sticker, for the hockey, cycling as well, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff that you guys have here that it's not only baseball, but it's like different things that people can gravitate, and it is a city identity. It's something that, when you put it on, you identify. I was like, where are you from? From Raleigh.
Yeah. And so Raleigh really doesn't have anything like that. And so this was another little spin-off that we're starting small and slow, and working with, like Oaks and Spokes is a nonprofit that works on cycling and building bike lanes. And so we're partnering with groups like that. And then we're doing some of our own things like the Heritage NC, which is like kind of throwback, some Negro League stuff.
Now you got my attention there, just so you know, like Negro Leagues baseball, that's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like rebooting some of those brands that, like, for instance, like the Raleigh Grays, they never really had couldn't even really find any logos or anything from them. The Raleigh Capitals, we haven't done any of that yet, but they have a small brand that was a baseball team, a minor league baseball team in Raleigh, long time ago. Durham All-Stars was kind of a military-based all-star team that actually Willie Mays played on. A lot of crazy stories here.
That's awesome,
dude. Tell those through the design and through the merchandising.
Yeah, I listen, guys. If for now, that if you guys got to check out some cool stuff, check out 919collective.com, because this is some cool stuff. And when I moved here, I really wanted to immerse myself in the area and in the community, because that's a big part of minor league thinking, right? It's like it's very community based. So I wanted to do my part, and this is a great way of me showcasing this great city, and you guys are doing an amazing job, man. This is cool stuff, and I appreciate you guys doing this.
I appreciate that.
So what's next for you guys? You guys, anything in the works right now for the movement? Anything that you guys got going?
Yeah, we're in the midst of trying to kind of reboot from COVID. We were
Amen.
I think everyone is. We had a lot of momentum at the time. You know, right before COVID hit, we had just come off that design, not festival, you know, that kind of that design showcase we kind of did that we just looked at. And we're partnering with the city in Moore Square, which is downtown. We were going to do a home run derby. So we had already set this up. We were going to do a wiffle ball home run derby for the community. We had it all set up. We had businesses that had the logos outside the fence that if you hit the business's logo, you got a meal. We had everything set up. We're going to have a big Saturday out there. And then COVID hit. And we were like, well, maybe we'll put out some hand washing stations at first. We were like, maybe we could do it. But then things were getting worse and worse. And we're like, you know what?
Let's just pause it.
And then 2 years happened, right? It was 2 weeks to slow the spread. We were like, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And now it's 2 years. So we are now finally starting to try to reboot. We're in talks again to try to do something like that soon. We're working with the Sandlot group. I don't know if you know anything about them, but
no.
So there's a group that plays Sandlot baseball around here, and it's kind of like a block party, and then a baseball game breaks out.
Nice.
And so anybody, all skill levels are welcome. There's people that have never played baseball. There are people that played maybe like little league or high school. And they get together on on most Saturdays, but they're about to have a and I want to plug their site here. I got to make sure I get the right site.
Sandlotgroup.com, is it?
Yeah, Raleigh Sandlot and Social Club. So if you go, they have an Instagram. I think they're working on a website. So it's Raleigh Sandlot and Social Club on Instagram. Go follow them and check out what they're doing. It's amazing. We go out there and play with them, but they have the Sandlot Revival coming up. So they rented out the old Durham Bulls Stadium, the one where, you know, Bull
yeah.
Okay. So they rented that out, and they're bringing Sandlot teams from all over the country. They're gonna have music, they're gonna have barbecue, they're gonna have merchandise, and then they're gonna play a kind of round robin little tournament. That's April 23rd and 24th. At the Durham Athletic Park. Anyone can come and just hang out. So
loved it.
We're working with them a little bit. We're gonna have a booth out there, and then we're just gonna keep going.
Listen, you bring that wiffle ball tournament back, I'm in on that. I am in.
Yeah,
I got my wiffle bat literally right here sitting, you know, next to me. I'm not kidding you. I have a wiffle bat ready to go.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, bring your own bat. Right. So we're gonna have like a kid home run derby and then an adult home run derby. So we're working that out. Hopefully this year you see that.
Awesome. All right. So are you ready? Now this is the fun part, okay?
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get started with my famous, not so famous question. I'll give you an easy one, okay?
Okay.
You go to the ballpark, and what is your drink or food of choice?
Oh man, I'm keeping it pretty simple though. Usually I'm getting some kind of the tallest light beer you got, because I'm gonna drink a lot during the game, so I want to pace myself with something light. All right, and then I'm getting an Italian sausage with the peppers and onions.
Nice. Okay, you went detail. I love it. Yeah. Somebody usually that tell me it's like, oh, a burger or a hot dog. No, you're like, no, Italian sausage. It needs to have peppers and onions.
Pretty much. Oh, that's pretty much what I get anywhere now. Depends on the stadium I'm at. If I'm at Yankee Stadium, I'm probably getting one beer and one dog, and it's like $40.
Yeah, and then you're done for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then I gotta just like hold back. But if I go to my wife's from Kansas City, so we'll go to the Royals games.
Yeah.
She's a Cardinals fan, but we go to the Royals games because they're so close. That is awesome. Okay, one time I went and they had dollar dogs, $2 beers.
Yeah,
it was like a minor league situation and watching Major League Baseball is perfect.
I love it. Yeah, it's, you know, when I was in Cleveland, me and my wife, we used to go to Dollar Dog Night. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What is the excuse me, best Wi-Fi name that you've ever seen?
Ooh, best Wi-Fi name that I've ever seen. Man, that's a good question. I mean, I don't even know if I've even seen a really good one. I've seen my old now. I'm not even gonna get into this one. My old neighbor had like he used to change his. Now he's like real political, so I'm not.
Got it. Okay.
But he would change it based on whatever's going on, in the world. And so I'd go to log on and I'd see his. I'd be like, oh my goodness, this guy's
We
crazy.
need to chill out, dude.
So I'm not gonna get into what his were, but they got me laughing though. Yeah.
Cake or pie?
Cake. Yeah, and I'm not a big pie guy.
No.
Yeah.
Pie is just delicious, but cake is good too, dog. I'll take that. Cook a meal or clean up after?
Ooh, cook a meal. I hate doing dishes. Hate it. My wife, hey, look, we even had an argument tonight because I brought out the paper plates and my wife's like, are you kidding me? She's like, this is not good for the environment. I said, well, it's my night to do the dishes. So
these are the dishes that we're using. It's funny because we have paper plates here, but my wife is also very environmentally, sound. So she, so I get it. We even have bamboo toilet paper now. So trust me on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Comedy or drama?
Oh, comedy. Yeah.
You gotta go with the comedy.
Especially these days. I got kids. I got everything's so heavy these days.
How many times have you seen Encanto?
Oh my goodness. maybe 20 times.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke.
Oh yeah. I take my daughter to daycare and it has to be either Frozen or Encanto soundtrack. So we go in between those two.
I was about to say, if I'm not watching it, I'm listening to it. Anytime I'm in the car, I got the Bruno song on blast.
Oh God, this is so true. Okay, early bird or night owl?
Early bird. I wake up at 4:30 every morning, go to the gym, and then get some work done before my 9 to 5 job starts.
Yep. I know how that feels. I'm up at 5:30 and gotta work out, go running or something, and then off I go.
Once you have kids, it's like the only free time.
That's your free time, right? That's my
Yeah,
free time.
it
That's for me. Leave me alone. This is my time.
Yeah, and then at night, I'm at bedtime right now.
Yep,
So.
I'm with you. It's like, you're getting close to that time. You're like, honey, I love you, but I gotta go to bed.
Yep.
Okay. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke. Yeah. Not sure why. Just grew up drinking Coke.
I was just gonna
I
say,
don't really drink
where
much
you're
soda.
at, right? You know where
I know. North Carolina. My old college roommate is last name Bradham. Related to the people that created Pepsi. So in college, he used to have a ton of Pepsi. I wouldn't touch it. I would have my Coke.
Okay. Hey, listen, you stuck to your guns, and I can respect that. I like that. Okay. Let's see. I gotta get a good one here. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Can't do that. No.
Nah.
Don't do that. I mean, it's not that bad. My last name is Pascucci. I'm Italian. I just need that. I'm going basic pizzas, guys. I'm going pepperoni.
I got you.
Plain,
So you've been into that fight between deep dish and New York style, huh?
I'm on New York style for you. Yeah, let me shout out Oakwood Pizza Box in right here off Person Street. Best New York slice. Really, I call it a Jersey slice because it's got that crisp bottom.
Oh, yes.
Best in Raleigh for sure.
Oakwood, you said?
Oakwood Pizza Box. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta check them out. I'm a huge fan of pizza. Love some pizza.
Gotta go there.
All right, cool. Let's see here. Book that you're currently reading.
Oh, I'm not reading a book currently.
Good answer. I'll take it. You don't have any time for a book right now.
I don't have time for a book. I would say like, what's the last book I even read? Pass on that. Pass. Hatchet.
Okay. Worst job you've ever had?
I used to work at a tennis center in college. I don't play tennis. I don't really like tennis that much.
But you worked there.
And I sat there But I used to work at the YMCA, and my boss moved to the tennis center and gave me a $2 raise to go over there. And all people wanted to talk about was tennis. And
You're
I
like,
just brought
I'm
my
over this.
laptop and worked on stuff. So,
I gotta go. See you guys later.
yeah.
All right, couple more, and then we get out of here. What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal, I just got to go with the gorilla. You know what?
Full blown.
I go to the zoo and I'll just sit there. And actually, one time during spring break during college, this is when I first started really loving gorillas. I had a pass to Busch Gardens. We bought a pass to Busch Gardens. It was $5 more to have like the full season. So every day we would go in the morning, get our coffee, and go in, and you could watch the animals wake up. So I watched the gorillas wake up.
No kidding.
And yeah, it was awesome. We would have our little breakfast, and the gorillas, I had never seen this. The little baby gorillas would wake up, and they would grab either newspapers or whatever was around, or palms, and they'd go to the adults that were sleeping, and they would beat them until they woke up. I thought, that seems just like a lot like what I would do when I was young. I'm not too far off.
It's something like your kids do now to you.
Yes, right.
My daughter's like, Daddy, I'm ready to get up. I'm like, it's too early. Go back to bed.
Yes.
Last movie you watched? Non-Disney.
Non-Disney. Okay. Last movie I watched was I watched Dune.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I wasn't actually like, that's not my genre really.
Yeah.
My wife was like, you should watch it. It's pretty good. And I loved it. It had like a little bit of that Mad Max vibe going on.
It did.
Sci-fi version of it.
That was a good movie. I enjoyed that one a lot. All right. 2 more here. Strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Strangest thing I've ever eaten. Oh man, it's like a long time ago at a church camp. I ate a cricket. I guess that would be
Seattle used to sell them. I don't know if they still sell them, but they sell them, like chocolate covered crickets and stuff like that.
Yeah, people eat them now. Yeah, at the time I was thinking it was real weird.
Yeah, right. I was like, I still think it's weird, but I'll try it once.
I'm a picky eater, so I don't really venture out. So
okay, last one here. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh man, I'm pretty much a mint guy.
Okay.
Everywhere I go, but green mint. Not that it's any different, but it just has like,
it has to be green.
Yeah, when I see it, it just tastes mintier when it looks green.
Love it. Thank you for doing this. Where can people find you, and like the movement and all of that? Where can people find that?
Yeah, just go to MLBRaleigh.com, MLB Raleigh on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook. You can check out 919 Collective. We're on all those places too, 919collective.com. Biggest thing for people is really, we're not asking anything other than spread the word. If you heard this, if you connected with it at all, tweet about it, talk about it. We are not going to bring baseball to Raleigh. Yeah. MLB Raleigh, the movement, the group of guys doing it, we're not going to bring it. It's up to the community. That's how it was set up. So it's time to put the work in, community.
No, I love it. All right. Thank you so much for doing this. Again, I'll put all this information on the show notes. I'll make sure to tweet out the website and all that, so that way people can also start the conversation about MLB here in the state of North Carolina.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. It was a good time.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye. I hope you guys enjoy that episode. That was a lot of fun to put together. Special thanks goes out to Lou of MLB Raleigh, as well as Britton Peck, one of the designers of that MLB Raleigh event that they put together. It really was a lot of fun, a lot of good information that was put together by these guys, and I really want to thank them again for coming on. Now, guys, before I go, you guys already know what I am going to ask. If you guys like what I am putting together, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, as well as give it 5 stars. 5 stars mean I go up on rankings, okay? Until then, keep on grinding and always support the minor leagues. See ya.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Ed Rivera of the Dad Hat Chronicles. Join me as I interview people just like you and players, coaches, GMs on the path that led you to become a fan of the sport.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series, and in every episode I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
This is Patrick
and Corey
of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball. So get on the site and find a team near you today.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.